Hey all, welcome to the GODSTER show. This is Frank Samuel and peace be unto you all. It's almost 2 years now that we've been through this pandemic, the COVID-19, and trust me, for most of us, it must have not been easy. There must have been some way or the other that we must have gone through certain hard things or some sufferings. Like some of us might have lost our dear ones, our friends, our family. The lockdown would have not been easy for us. Some of us may have lost our jobs, financial crisis, medical expenses, suffering through lockdown, through isolation, many things. But right now, what I want to focus on is how are we coping up with the current situation that we're going through, or what exactly are we supposed to do? Because we tend to blame God, we tend to ask Him, why is that I'm going through this? Why is that, this has come upon me? There are too many questions we tend to ask, but where is our faith, especially in this situation, pandemic, COVID-19, the kind of phase that we are into right now? Where exactly is our faith, or what exactly are we supposed to do? So that's what I want to focus on today: faith during COVID-19. Trust me, God can hear us, God sees what we're going through. I'm sure this must have not been easy for most of us, but every situation that we are in, everything that we're going through, God can see us, He can hear us. For example, if you take the example of Jonah, he was in an isolation inside the big fish stomach, the belly of the big fish. He was there in isolation. And what did he do? If you see with me in the book of Jonah, chapter 2, verse 2, it says, "In my distress, I called to the Lord, and He answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead, I called for help, and you listened to my cry." That's what Jonah did. Now, the kind of phase that we were or that we are going through, it can be hard for us to feel that God is near us, God is with us. But the Bible also says in the book of Psalm, chapter 23, verse 4, it says, "Even though I walk in the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me." So God is there with us even in the darkest valley. He has never left us. He never left us from the beginning. He is there with us. He is walking with us. He sees what you're going through, and He hears our prayers. And that's what it says in Psalm 23:4. "Even though I walk in the darkest valley, I shall fear no evil, because you are with me," and God is present. But we tend to blame God. We tend to ask God, why? Why is this situation? Why has this come on me? But trust me, God is not the creator of suffering. He's our Redeemer. So He didn't create, He didn't create a situation that you're in right now. But He's with you in the situation that you're going through. And that's what God says. He's for us. If you see in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 33, it says, "For He does not willingly bring affliction or grief to anyone." For He does not willingly bring affliction or grief to anyone. So God is not a creator of suffering. He's a Redeemer, and that's what He says in the Bible. He knows what you're going through. Whatever is happening is not lost with God. God can hear us. He is with us. So we need not worry about what exactly is the situation that we're in, because God knows what we want. And He is there for us. The same God who helped Jonah out of the belly of the big fish is the same God who's with you today, who's helping you today. And we are supposed to see that. We're supposed to see how exactly God is helping us. So we know that God is concerned for us in the situation that we are in. So He's not leaving us, He's never going to let go of us. But what are we supposed to do? Fine, He sees us, He hears us, and He's concerned for us. And He's going to bring us out of whatever trials we are facing. But what are we supposed to do? So let's see what the Bible says. If you see in the book of Chronicles, chapter 20, verse 12, it says, "We do not know what to do, but our eyes are on you." We do not know what to do, but our eyes on you. Which means, instead of asking God why the situation has come upon you, learn to trust God, because He is the only reliable source. God is very reliable. So when we don't know what to do, just fix your eyes on Him, and He's going to take care of everything. That's what it says in Chronicles 20:12. Just fix your eyes on Him. And what is God going to do? Is He going to just abandon us? No. He's going to receive us faithfully. He's going to receive us with love. And that's what it says. God is faithful to receive us. If you see in the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. He is the only reliable source. So what else do we need in life when we have a proof of who's going to be with us during our bad times, during our worst times? It's God. And that's what we're supposed to do. His grace is sufficient for us, and that's what it says in Corinthians. His grace is more than enough for us. So let's not, focus on what kind of news we are hearing. Let's not focus on what kind of things that we get to hear from our friends, from our family, or from anyone. Let nothing, let no sort of negativity hit our head. Let us put our complete trust in God alone. Now, we may see the news, we may tend to hear, there's a lot of spike in the cases, there's a lot of things that's going to happen. Fine, even if you're vaccinated, there's another variant that's coming up. We've come across many variants in these 2 years. We've learned about many variants and how it's going to affect us, how dangerously it's transmissible. We've learned so many things. But let not this negativity get into our head. Let nothing cause us anxiety. Let us completely put our trust in God, because He is the only reliable source. We need to put a complete focus on God, because He is reliable. And that's what it says in the Bible. If you look in the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7, "Cast all your anxiety, because He cares for you." So let nothing affect you. Looking at this or hearing to these stuff, when you're finding difficult to put your trust in Him, when you're finding difficult, to pep up your faith, when you're finding it difficult to get more closer to God in this current situation, just go through the scriptures, because trust me, the strength that you find in the scriptures, you will not find that strength anywhere else in the world. It clearly says in 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7, "Cast all your anxieties, all your burdens unto Him, for He cares for you." He really cares for you. He's never going to leave you. He sees what you're going through. So just give it to Him. So when we do that, in return, what are we supposed to do? Let us share burden from one another. Let us share our burdens. Let us be there. Let us see what kind of help we can offer to someone during their time of need. So while God hears our prayer, while we put trust on God, while we know that, He's the only one whom I can rely on, while we do this, what are we supposed to do? Let us share the burden. with one another. Let us see what kind of help we can offer. Let us come forth to offer help. Let us come forth to be there for someone who's going through the same suffering what we or others have gone through. Because this is the time to trust in God, to put up your faith, and to rely on Him, at the same time be there for one another. And that's what we see in the book of Galatians chapter 6 verse 2. Carry each other's burden, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Carry each other's burden, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. So what is the law of Christ? When we do this, we are fulfilling the commandment that says, love your neighbors as you love yourself, just as God has loved you. So let us follow this. Let us not give our mind into any kind of negativity. Let us not get into any kind of, stuff or discussion that's gonna, disturb our peace of mind. Let us cast our anxiety. Let us cast our burden unto Him. Let us start trusting Him more and more. Let us pep up our faith. Let us know that, He is the only reliable source, because He hears us. He's there with us. He's walking through us, through our suffering, just to bring us out of the suffering. And let us also be there for one another, because in this way, we are standing united as children of God. The same God who has brought His people out of the slavery from the land of Egypt is the same God who's going to bring you out of the suffering that you're going through today. So this pandemic, this COVID-19, this too shall pass. This shall pass, because God is going to bring us out of this one day for sure. And the day is very soon. So let us learn to go more deeper, with our faith into God. Let us start trusting God. Because when God is for us, nothing can be against us. So let us ensure that nothing separates us from the love of God. So saying that, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed, and don't give up on faith.